Hey guys. Well, there's been a lot of strange messages, I'll tell you, over the last couple of days. And from what I've been seeing and and from some of the things I've been experiencing, I would guess that perhaps this might be an eventful week. That this is supposed to be some special week where we may come into contact with someone who's instrumental possibly in our success, perhaps, or something like that. And then also at the same time, there were also messages of and something about romantic stuff. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's all everybody loves, and it's all love, right? I guess. But certainly we have been transitioning of some sort in some way. Our appetite is way off, and when we eat, we're like, well, that was too much, obviously, and our appetite, like I said, just and plus also it seems like I can't really fix what I want anyway, and I can't seem to have the right ingredients or something. So we're going off of that. We're not going to be a foodie. We're going to go retire from that, I guess, here before too long. Um, at least take a break, huh? And so, I got the feeling today that I might have been. There might have been a possibility that I would have come into contact with someone important. There was a couple feelings today that suggested that to me. Also, whenever we were on parade, we did get doused with some kind of warm stuff. That took a minute or two to dissipate completely. Um, and we saw some traffic operating in a different way. Then also we ran into some strange road conditions, which sort of broke things up and brought me back here anyway. But yeah, there's a couple things I've got to get back to. We're not feeling ill like we were before. Are we completely up to 100% speed? I doubt that, but we're not feeling so peaked and puny. So we're going to try to get back on the stick there, and so to speak, figuratively speaking, and steer it up. Get to it. Yeah, we got some advice from a friendly redhead, I think, which was, it's subtle, but it's just, it's plain and it said it so simply, and I was like, yeah, we know that. We actually had that planned for about 6 weeks ago. But then, the great sickness that had to befall us or something. I'm going to really be glad when we get to that point where that's not going to happen again. You build all year long, and then some ass from some asinine group thinks they were going to do something with it. Like, it seems like I've had to suffer an awful lot of these people who, they don't, they're not going to be able to do it, but they want you to go out and do all this, that, and other, and then somehow, well, anyway, that's neither here nor there, and it doesn't matter because my entire life I've been seemingly, you know, cursed with those types of Klingons. You know how William Shatner is about Klingons. Damn Klingons. I saw him the other day dressed all in black, sporting some new sporty type of look and name or something. I thought, oh god. Um, good he's kicking it though. It's good he's still around kicking it. I'm glad of it. It's nice. It's just nice to see people that you've enjoyed still at it. Yeah, a lot of different bands have come to mind recently. A lot of different artists, actors, musicians. Seems like I'm being offered a walk through the past or something. My whole life's flashing before my eyes in the form of favorite actors and actresses and musicians and such. Well, I'll tell you, these more miraculous events coming up sounds good to me. It sounds almost like what's happening is it's going back to being what it was originally supposed to be whenever I finally did get out on the scene. Which, of course, wasn't being married to the damned or anything like that. That wasn't the idea ever. It's just a day. I'm day here, surrounded by day, and my daylight here, going the way of the day. You can just call it another lonely day. That's okay. Just okay. God loves each and every one of them that is on our side. It's on the side of day. It's for my, ascension, victory. Those that are loyal to the day team. Yeah. And I'll tell you guys, it's been a long, strange trip, that's for sure. and I'm glad that we're coming up now, and that we're getting up and out of the quagmire. And just God love you for all your help. I suppose we're going to become a lot lighter as we go. I thought there were some things that in the transition we were being made free of completely, but I'm not sure if certainly certain people, because they're just not right for us. They're not supposed to be teamed with us for anything. But anyway, it's interesting, and I suppose that it's going to shape up pretty quickly soon, and we'll be on our way, so to speak, rather figuratively speaking, hopefully. Yes, that's right. I am keeping sort of I can't even say an optimistic point of view or attitude, because it's just more of joy. Optimism about what exactly? Oh, yeah, I've seen a couple of these people out there. It's so funny that they seem to be talking more and more in definitive terms. The more we progress, it's like I was listening to one of my. I got through half of it at least. I tried to go back and listen to the other part of it, but it's like anything other than it's like they think that they're going to. This is the flaw in the programming, kids. Let's become Christ without Christ. No, that's not going to work. That's actually the dumbest, damnedest thing that there ever was. That is Satan themselves. Okay, it's we're not going to be owned by that one guy that can get us out of this mess. No, we're not. See, that's the attitude. We're gods to ourselves. And that is the real test, guys. It's like, yes, you do have power. Yes, you're capable of doing things. And yes, you're capable of involving even magic, which doesn't make you a god. It just means that you're enlisting other things to do your bidding, similar to that of enlisting the help of heaven. That's all. So the question is as a god, as a little mini god, are you going to align with the narcissist, or are you going to align with the codependent? I think that's pretty much how they've lined it out as far as psychological terms, which is on one end you have Satan, the narcissist, and on the other end you have Jesus on the cross. And I'm not really down with this codependent terminology. Again, psychology is just a made-up tool of the world to distract you from the truth. And so what marriage is and what team is interdependence. It, you are dependent upon them, and they're dependent upon you, which I would think would be, you'd think would be codependency, because you're not standing alone. Yeah, you could stand alone. You could take care of everything yourself. You could do it. It certainly wouldn't be as comfortable, and it wouldn't be as efficient and or effective. Because if you're trying to wear all hats and do all jobs, then there's not going to be any specialization, and you're not really going to make gigantic headway in any one area, because you've got all your efforts and all your energies spread out over all things. So it's not as effective as a team, or like as in marriage, for example, or a basketball team, or a baseball team, or etc. Um, because if one of them falls on that codependency side, which I just call it the team side, the people of team, they will hold each other up and say, well, come on now, you can't falter. Yes, you fell down, but you're not being left here. Come on, get up. Or if it was a bunch of guys, they'd all be saying, come on, you pussy. Quit being such a pussy. Or something to that effect. Although, the guys who are a little more advanced might soften that tone up a little bit. And another thing I wanted to point out was, when you join the masculine, right, the father, and you actually are joining with his son, right? It's not, women don't become masculine. It's just they're under that umbrella. That's all. That's all it is. They don't become masculine. They will perhaps have greater control over their emotions, uh, less apt to be reactive. In other words, the Prince of Peace would help them with those things. And what I see basically is, some of them are trying to use any form of terminology other than that team. You can say this and that, and it all really does come down to, are you on the team of light or on the team of darkness? It does, from what I understand it, there comes a point where it's all black and white, real easy to discern as to who's who and what's what. And remember, I've always heard, and it sounds to me like it's an adage, it's not what you know, but rather who you know. Who's on first? That's right. What else did I want to cover? There was, well, I'll tell you this. There's some stuff that I look at and I'm thinking, it's sort of disappointing, and other stuff I'm like, well, it sounds like we might be finally getting what we want after 2 damn decades of not. And we're darn happy if it is happening. There's been indications. It feels, and I'm thinking, well, I hope this becomes something that I can, that we can sense on a daily basis, or on a minute-to-minute basis. No, these things have become true, and it's the new standard. And but we keep on climbing. I know that they've continued to work against us, or do this or that. We received something that seemed like an attack earlier, where we got flooded with a bunch of hot stuff that just sort of swarmed all over us and got in the wrong places. And of course, those that brought it and all that got beat down into the ground again. Because heaven's not putting up with us being invaded and contaminated and all that stuff after they go to all this work to make us clean. So yeah, we're just we're picking it back up. What we were getting back to the business. Like I said, we're going to get to the paperwork and go through that, because again, there's all these indications that the tide has turned, and you can expect real favor, and actual demonstrations of that. It's kind of difficult to believe. There are people out there that I'm going to like and want to be around and all that, because of the length of time we've been in this. It really is. It's like, well, if we ever get out of this place, if we ever get out of this place, um, so guys, this was not a planned message. It was not anything. It was just to say it was an acknowledgement of a couple things, um, of where I'm at and where my head's at regarding those things like the dieting and fasting. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm just done and I'm done. And I mean, yeah, I might have me a glass of milk or do this or that, but basically, I'm done. I've got to go on my fast at least for a while, and then if I'm going to eat it all, I'm going to make it smaller amounts because I'm more comfortable again without it. And also, it does feel as though we become stronger and healed from that cold or whatever it was, and the viral thing, and so we're not, suffering all those symptoms. You know what it feels like? Just the last day or two. Not that it is actual, but it seems as though we might have received some rest, gotten some rest these last few days, more rest than normal because the ongoing, stuff is less. It's been just less and less to us. So, I heard somebody talking about like a week ago, and they're saying that, well, some of them are upset because you're moving on past them, and they meant, I don't know if they meant actually, which probably is, but it was also speaking, in a metaphorical sense. Um, which, of course, I'm sure they don't want, but it's inevitable. It just simply is inevitable because they continue bringing me higher, making my nest and my perch in a higher place. So, which what they're doing is they're essentially just lifting us up past that point where um, any of these are going to be able to affect us in any way. They're just, all these, they're lifting us way, way far up out of the reach of all that is darkness and evil, hate, the hostile. Then we're being raised and put in a place that's out of out of reach from them and their energies and their designs. And again, I don't know why they bother because heaven's just going to defeat all their plans, whichever plan it might be, small or large. It's going to be defeated by heaven for me, and that includes their weapons and mechanisms and traps. All that's defeated. They won the war for me. I'm being set free. I've heard a couple times deliverance or delivered. Um, and we are. We're being delivered from evil more and more. So, do I believe that there's going to be some miraculous things that happen? Um, why not? I've seen lots of diabolical things in the past that happened. So, I don't see why some good stuff can't happen for a change in this life, you know? And that good people would be involved. It just seems like the natural conclusion to the walk that we've been on. That, at some point we'd be, oh, well, all right, we're in the land of Beulah, and be on that nice walk to be hanging out with the good kind of people that we want to be hanging out with. Sky. Have you ever seen a woman taken by the sky? That's what Nikki asked. I'm sorry, Stevie. Nikki. What the hell am I thinking? Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac. That's Mick Fleetwood. And Lindsey Buckingham. Yeah. They certainly have been remembered an awful long time. Grand Funk Railroad. Yeah, I saw Peter Frampton over there. It's like they're just trucking them all. And you know what? I really do believe that the love songs really were better back in the 70s and 80s. They really were. They really were on it. Again, guys, thank you so much for your help and support. I suppose things are going to start rolling before too long. Are we going to meet someone? Well, if they come up on me and go, hey, what's up with you? And start a conversation with me, maybe. Because to date, historically speaking, the pattern has been, if I'm in this energy or not, I tend towards saying, hey, to people around me or make a remark. I've chilled on that a lot more, more and more, I should say, over the last several years, becoming less and less motivated to speak with anybody. Um, but I'll still do it at times. But usually it's like it's just a name stuff. It's like about the weather, whatever, and polite conversation kind of thing. And if they don't have anything to say past that, well, y'all have a good night. Because what? I really don't understand this damn game that they've been playing. This recognize me game and all that, and I'm like, I don't care. I never wanted to play it, you see. And as far as love goes, boy, this sure ain't my idea of love. Not at all. Not, no, no. It just seems like that's all the devil's game, and I just only say damn them all to hell that you was making me go through it as long as they did. I mean, I just don't believe in it. It just seems to me like it's all just a contrivance of the satanic to torture people that have the ability to love for no damn good reason at all. That's not why it's why I'm just not real big on and dreaming. I don't have the faintest damn clue what they mean about dreams. I think maybe what they mean about making your dreams come true is people that aren't real. Maybe you can make them become real. Which again sounds like nothing I would ever have voluntarily decided to be a part of. Knowing that, nah, it's just, again, if the devil shows up and says they're going to give you 3 wishes, well, you better have a lawyer draw up those 3 wishes, and have all kinds of conditions involved, because every show that I've ever seen says, they're not going to just give you your wishes. They won't be nice. It's not going to turn out to be what you want. There's no reason to go after the prizes the devil offers, because why? Will it be shiny, bright, and new and happy and something that you really want and you're going to be happy and contented with? Or does it just look like that? And it's all rotten on the inside, full of demons and terrible mistakes and remorse and self-loathing or something, yeah. What am I all about? Oh, the sky. I love the sky. The sky loves me, and I love our Father in heaven. And it just seems to me like if he wanted me to have anything, he would have had me had that, but I think what he really wanted me to do is wake up to the fact that, hey, you're surrounded by a bunch of dead people. Now I'll figure out what you want. Oh, yeah, well, I figured that out like 17 years ago when I said goodbye. We said we wanted to leave, preferably without a need of return. I think they decided that meant, well, then you'll have to be married to one of the undead or the whatever deal it is. And it's like, which, I changed my want to leave well and finish well, and if I ever have to come back, I know that I'll know where I'm at, and hopefully I just won't have to come back. But if we do, by God, I'm not going to be the same at all. Somebody also has to be playing the game and being the person who's not going to get anything out of it. I cannot understand how anyone who has ever seen what goes on with somebody like myself, why they would ever decide, yes, I want to walk that walk. I want to play that part. I'll be that guy. Because it's not good. oh yeah, you're supposed to have this and you're supposed to have that and the best of this and the best of that and blah blah blah, as you are that standing there in the middle of it, and you know, above all that and below just that. And but no, I wouldn't volunteer for this ever again. This whole love thing and family and relationships and all that stuff. And it's like I was telling you, I think Melanie was right, because I feel very differently about the world. I feel very differently about women. I feel very differently about all people, as a matter of fact. And I do not see it as, oh, the world is one and it's all, let's turn the world into peace and love. Not at all. Not at all. As far as your ideas about service to self, or service to what, huh? What do you, or what? Service to self or service to what? Or who? Because you're either in service to yourself, the darkness, or you're only in service to yourself for the light. You're only serving one or the other. You're only going to fall into one or the other categories. You're either going to end up with a place real high in the sky, or you're not. You're going to be one of those other people that is not so darn happy, you know, on the other side of the fence, because they don't have it good. I'll tell you, they don't have it good. I've been there. I've seen it. I know how they are. And again, on one side where they would call it codependency, because, you know, the damned of the world devise things like psychology to use little bits and pieces to manipulate you and say, well, I've got to stand on my own. I'm no codependent. Yeah, there you go, Satan. And yeah, you're supposed to have a certain amount of independent feeling and operational independence, you know, like a captain of a ship, perhaps, you know, or James Bond, or whoever. They're commissioned, right, by His Majesty, and they're in command of all this stuff and these things and guns and crew, and but they still have to operate within the constraints of, etc. and so forth. Even if they are licensed to kill, there are certain expectations, like don't do magic, don't hang out with the devil and sleep in their bed with them, you know. But again, I really have come to the conclusion that, in fact, it is a prison planet. You are here and or in these lower realms or whatever, because of a mistake or several mistakes. You may be on your last life, and this may be your last day. And because you've gone round and round and round and round, and it's been decided who you are and what you're going to be for all of eternity. Oh, at that point, you'd think you'd want to be on the side of light and life. Yeah, even if you have to come back again and again and again, at least you got to forget it. You know, maybe you come and live another life, but at least you got to forget the last one. Damn. And if you get in good with who you know you're already looking for in the first place, things will turn out better, won't they? Because there'll be less chance that you'll be infected by these things. And that's an awful lot of what's been going on with us is we're being de-infected. You know, the infections are being eradicated completely and totally, and this sealed shut, so when it comes back around, it's not really able to get in anymore. And even though it might get on temporarily, that'll be a costly mistake, because all that's coming off and going down and way down. But am I channeling? Are these just gems that we're dropping here? And why should I publish it, right? Well, I will say this. I'm not depressed. I strangely have a happier, I think, outlook. It seems to be growing. It does seem like I'm receiving good love, and I'm very happy about that. And I just want to let you know that to all those that are loving me, I'm trying to get back on the game, and I'm going to get back to business. it's not been the easiest thing, but the clouds and all the darkness and all that junk that was on us is all falling away, and we're rising up above it. So, yeah, I think that we're going to do okay this year, and I think that we're going to probably be in contact with some of the good ones. I don't know why I would listen to this one chick, but I tuned in for at least like 2 minutes of it, and they were talking about how, like, you know, you've got a contract on the way. And I'm thinking, well, I guess I better clean up all of my avenues of communication, try to get that all open again, and get the paperwork done and get this other stuff started. And I'm thinking, well, if there's a contract, and they said, but it'll be something for something good. It'll be a good deal. And I'm thinking, yeah, but you're a shill for evil, I'm pretty sure. And I don't think I'm going to be listening. See, I find it very, very difficult to listen to any of them anymore. Yeah, there's been the one who acknowledged recently that they've been told that we like to watch them and listen to some of the stuff they say, but we don't want that junk activity they do. You know, they'll do the occult stuff and they'll pick up their cards. I'm like, goodbye. Because look, blah blah blah. Show me a picture out of a magazine and say this. What this tells me, Tom, is that collective, or I don't know who this is for. That this is all blah blah blah, and it means that you're able to. And see, the problem I hear in like Filter Face there, with the cute body that's very familiar, is again while you're starting towards that, you're starting towards it. You're acknowledging the fact that okay, the God thing, Jesus, okay, yeah, and I understand that there's other gods, and I understand there's Krishna, I understand there's Vishnu, yep, I understand that, and there's something about that color. It's I think Jesus is right in there in that same class, but whatever you want to call it, what do you think I always refer to him as? The Prince of Peace, he who is worthy. He's the only one whose name can be called, who can be called as his name, worthy. He is worthy as opposed to everybody else. He's actually good. He wouldn't tell you that, but he is really good. I mean, for the most part, 99%, I guess. Probably a lot better than that too, since he ascended. But I truly do believe that it is a prison planet, and that everybody here is either A, already on the payroll for God. They came in from heaven. As again, how many lives we don't know, but their eternal life meant that they had to come back again and do some more work for the kingdom. Which is all good, and that there is only one way out. And you got you probably have your recycle system over there, and that, like the Hindu Indian thing, which is just a satanic thing. I think really, it's about, because people are still talking about doing things all yourself. And what you don't understand is I don't do everything myself. Remember, I've been upstairs and I called them to me, and it was through a song, not much of one, and I sent them to where I wanted to go and do what I wanted them to do, and they were me and they are them. Okay, so it's not. What am I? Who am I? I'm a piece of them. I'm a servant to the kingdom. Not the kingdom that we can build here with this junky junk deal, which, if I build anything, it's for that kingdom above. It is for the kingdom. All these kings that you see that come up that are true to it and understand the real deal on this, what do they say? That's right. They're tossing their crowns before the king, because they're servants of the King of Kings. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I see, and I think especially these females, they're all about being their own God. They're their own God in their own little world and this and that. Well, okay, to some degree. What do you think you're commanding? What forces are you commanding? As the light, I have the authority to command darkness, as well as command forces from heaven. And am I saying I'm the only light? I'm not saying that. I'm saying I am that because it came down to me and it is me. So I am that and it is me. And I am this flavor of the light. Again, that is tamping my own personal ego down so it doesn't get in the way. And I start going, oh, I'm going to have $1 billion and 3 yachts, 12 mansions, and this and that, and a bunch of ridiculous junk that doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form, except in this realm, and it's not a very important realm. I don't believe it really truly is, except it may be important for us to establish a marker point, perhaps. I don't know, but I know that what we're going to do is we're going to finish out well. No, there's not going to be anything to stop us because all the heavens are for me. These others have been defeated, and I hope that they are able to walk away from that and let it go, so that there's not any more of this, junk that they've been doing, because that won't pay off. It's it'll just keep getting worse, So again, peace be with you. If you have any anger, renounce it. It is not you. It's not a part of you. It's not a power or a strength in you. It's a part of the demonic. And its only goal is for you to indulge it and make you believe that it's you and part of you, and to grow in you. And the more you indulge it, the more you let it sit with you, the more you brood in anger, I'm sure you're helping it to find much more space to take in you. And you don't want that. You don't want it to grow in you, because eventually it'll own you. Just like Jesus. If you bring the light into you, if you say, Lord God, good God of the God Most High, the Son of the Father, whom is all light and life, without any darkness within them, and you beseech them in such a way, Prince of Peace, come into me, live with me. You can continue on in that. Be more in me, along these lines, which is what this is explained in John. It is the basic instruction, and it's never really spoken about. How you just, they say, well, ask him into your heart. No, they're trying to make you say you're not afraid. That's why they don't tell you the real deal. It's like, what you truly are doing is you're asking for the kingdom of light and life. To not just, you don't want to align with it, and you don't want to mimic the damn vibration and pretend that you're something like that. You want it to become part of you. You want to be voluntarily possessed, okay, by that. And let that grow more and more in you, displacing the other and getting rid of it from you. So that at some point your vibration will continue to raise up. You'll be walking around in another dimension, higher, safer. You'll be more at peace. You'll be more full of light, which is joy and love, the actual stuff. So you'll be a happier camper regardless. And you'll also know, regardless of what's going on, God loves you. Heaven is for you. And you do, however long it takes, you do get there. You will get there. Yeah, I guess I got some preaching to do. If there's any people to preach to, I'm hoping that we're going to be able to reach outside of the grave, wherever this is, because that's what it feels like. It feels like they built their world around me. It was a dead world. I'm hoping we're going to be transferred out to a living world again, hopefully, soon. But in any case, hey, I'm sure that we'll be made well known enough among normal type of known, rather than just famous among everything that's famous, and we'll be approachable, and we'll be able to be in contact with real people who may have real abilities to say, hey, come over here and we could do this, and here's some money, stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, I thought you might like to meet this guy or gal, and you don't say another opportunity. Well, it's just an easy walk. Just walk in. It's a cakewalk, you say. Oh, and it's guaranteed. Oh, well, okay. And then, of course, there's all those other things we can do to boost finances and such. and then do the thing. Yeah, I know. Stars and we'll build Starship Tommy. God love you and God keep you. We'll see you real soon.